And the man himself, Slash, with then Asprey on lead vocals. Ghost, he's no ghost, he's here. Slash. It really is you.
I may expect a lot more of those one-liners from you.
Excellent beginning.
Shut down already.
Well, the only thing is, there's a guy who does the afternoon show who's well known for pranks, and we were thinking that this could be a prank, and that he would walk in a wig with sunglasses, and we would go, well, that could just be a Jono prank, but no,
Yeah,
you're
but
really
not at
here.
8 in the morning.
It's great to have you here so early in the morning, of
No
course.
self-respecting guy that has to be at work in the afternoon will come in at 8 o'clock for a prank.
Slash, the last time we spoke to you was on the phone maybe about a month, 2 months ago, and you were talking about these concerts that you're coming to do, and I was actually on my way to court that day, and you gave me some advice for court that day. Do you remember the advice that you gave me?
It probably was very standard, but I can't remember exactly. I do remember telling you that, but I don't remember what it said.
Yeah, you just said don't smoke cigarettes in there or wear glasses or a hat, so it has all gone well. And
I've tried all three. Do you have a stir for the...
Oh.
Quick, Rog, get him a straw.
Use your pen, Rog.
You don't want a pen, do you?
I've done that. If I have an option. But anyway.
Someone who is listening.
We need a
will grab you
teaspoon.
one.
Anyone listening,
it's
we
out
need a
there.
teaspoon.
We'll bring in a teaspoon, no worries.
You guys will get one on Facebook.
You were here, we were just talking before, you've been here a few times, in Auckland, the Velvet Revolver days.
Yeah.
You were here for that show, but that's been a while, and so you were saying it's great to be in Auckland again, and of course you were here for the Guns N' Roses experience back then, but a few years since you've been in Auckland, because you went to G Taranaki, didn't you?
Yeah,
to the Taranaki,
Well, that was what fit at the time when this first got together, and that was fun and everything. And we had this great greeting at the airport from the tribes, the mayor, and which was pretty heavy considering we just got off a 15-hour and had a great gig. But I was really looking forward to coming back to Auckland and doing this.
Of course, with the new band as well, Miles Kennedy. And I read that you were, this is great for you because all the band is getting on. There's no stress with this band. It's just rock and roll and you're having fun.
It's just, it's a rough and tumble, straight ahead rock and roll band. They don't seem to make them that much anymore. But it's just, there's no bells and whistles, but it's a really great band. All, it's one of those things where we're just really into what we're doing and we're pretty good at it. And so,
Slash, you've said that everyone you kind of work with does turn into a band, that you're not a dictator. Even though it's Slash, come to see Slash, you become a band.
Well,
That's how you have to
the
make
thing
work.
is, the key thing with the rock, to perform or record rock music is you have to have a bunch of like-minded people that are all sort of, working together as a kind of unit. There's a synergy there, and that's really, once you succeed at that, it turns into a band. You want to keep doing it. It's like dating a girl that's really good, Anyway, and that makes it become a band. There's a certain camaraderie that comes out of that you can relate to each other on that level, and so therefore it becomes a group.
Did you find yourself with so many experiences in the past that maybe didn't go the way you want them to? Did you almost get to a point where you almost mistrusted the music? The ability to be in a band because of the experiences you'd had?
No.
Did you ever doubt that you keep doing it?
I've been really fortunate. I mean, in the bands that I've been in, like the ones that you would be familiar with, they're all great players, and we all had a certain connection. But this particular, like Velvet Revolver was great because obviously I played with a couple of the guys from Guns N' Roses days, and the Snake Pit bands were a little bit more throw and goes. It was hard to predict what was happening with those two incarnations. But this bunch of guys is great just because of the simple fact that we all want to do the same thing, which is not muck about with a bunch of other extracurricular bullshit and just actually play, and that's all we care about. And it's great to not have all that sort of outside bullshit. But in working with a lot of different people outside of my own groups, you sort of learn to adapt to different styles and stuff. And I always sort of make a good time out of it. Yeah.
You've been doing rock music for so long now. I'm dying to know whereabouts you think it's actually going, because you've done GNR, then Velvet Revolver.
Let's put it this way. At this point, it can only get better. It can only go up from here.
These days, your new album, I know that's why you're here now to play songs from the new album, your other Slash album, and I know from seeing the set list, you play a range of hits from your days, from the catalogue. This album, you made the choice to just go with Miles as the singer, whereas in the last album, you had the most ridiculous list of people would would love to be able to have the opportunity. Were you tempted to have that range of people again on this album?
That is the most commonly asked question.
Yeah.
That record I did with all those different people, which was a great record to make. I had a real blast making that record. But that was a one-off. That was the only thing I've ever done like that. And I had no intention of making another one. And what happened was I met Miles at the tail end of making that record. I had a couple songs left over. I might have told this story last time, but I had a couple songs left over that I couldn't think who should sing. And I'd been hearing about Miles Kennedy, and it was just one of those shot in the dark kind of things where I thought, well, let's see what Zeppelin likes, and let's see how good he is, you know.
Wow.
And so I sent him the music, and he came back with Back from Cali and Starlight. And I was like, this guy's awesome, you know. And so we got together, and I asked him if he wanted to do a tour to support this record that I did with all these people. And he'd have to sing all that plus some Gun stuff and some Velvet stuff and some Snake Pit stuff. But for some reason, I had this gut feeling that he could do it. So he signed on to do it, and then I met Brent Fitz and Todd Kearns, and who was one of the best rhythm sections I've ever played with. And it was like it was a magic moment. It was like, wow, I've got this amazing pickup band. And we went on the road, and a couple gigs turned into a year and a half tour. and I thought, well, if I was going to make another record, man, I'd just do it with these guys. And that's what this is.
And here you are. I do understand you've played your album to your snake. You got an anaconda called Sam, and he likes the new album. You were saying he moved
Poor
around
guy.
a lot. Yeah.
He gets excited, but he had to listen to a lot of Roughnecks. As well as my kids did as well. Every morning on the way to school, I test out stuff.
Well,
on
are they your toughest critics, Slash? Because Roger's got 2 daughters, and they listen to our show, and they think we're horrible. No,
They don't think much
they
of
think
me.
he's horrible.
Yeah.
Well,
Do your kids?
My kids just don't care. You know, they don't. Yeah, they're tough critics. They just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, if they choose to listen, otherwise they have their headphones on and they've got their, you know, whatever it is they play with, you know, iPads or whatever. But if they choose to listen, and then I think Bad Rain is my oldest son London's favorite song. It's also the first song he ever heard, and he probably the only one he ever listened to.
Well, speaking of kids, we have heard, I know, Leah, you had the story about that you wanted to be on Sesame Street.
Yes.
You know what? I've been hearing about that.
Oh.
And this is what happens when you talk openly to people in the press. They asked me about Sesame Street, and I told them, I don't think so.
Oh.
And then I thought, well, you know, I mean, I guess it'd be okay. I mean, if I could play with Animal and all those guys.
Oh, yeah.
But I could never sit down next to, oh, God, what's his name? Elmo. And have an interview. That could never happen. So I thought, you know, it was one of those things in passing. And all of a sudden I realized, I just saw, since I got here, that's like a major headline.
Slash wants on the street.
I want to be on Sesame Street.
Slash can't get on Sesame Street.